Okay.
spelled here in the prison
Yeah.
as D-O-N-N-E-L.
Okay. Good evening, everybody. I'm here today with our guest, Donnell Parker. Welcome, Donnell.
Well, thank you.
Okay.
How's everyone doing?
Well, we'll get a few listeners, on eventually. We usually get quite a few listeners, but I wanted to let's give the viewers a little bit of a background on you so that they have some idea where you're coming from.
Okay. Donnell Parker from Cleveland, Ohio. I'm 50 years old. I was born March 1st, 1970. I was born on the west side of Cleveland, born at Metro Health Center. I graduated from West Tech.
And my dad graduated from West Tech.
Huh?
My dad graduated from West Tech.
Oh, your dad is too? Your dad graduated from, okay, great.
Yeah, but we're talking about back in like the 40s.
Oh, wow.
So,
Well, I was a little bit I was in the 80s. I was in 87.
yeah, I graduated in 81. Now, how long have you been incarcerated for?
I've been incarcerated since 1996.
Okay, the time of your court hearing, did you claim total innocence or just wrongfully convicted?
I'm claiming total innocence.
Okay, and I think part of what we need to part of what you need to do actually is to convince our viewers. If you could convince our viewers, and believe me, we have some really hardcore viewers here. They still don't think I should have gotten out. So,
I welcome. Okay.
but that's good, because if we can convince the hardcore people, you might have a chance with whatever you're going to do in the future. But I'd like you to walk through step.
Originating from an Ohio correctional facility and may be recorded and monitored.
Let's walk through step from the moment of your arrest, what you recall and so forth. Let's start that route, okay, Donnell?
Okay, well, let me tell you how the inception of everything happened. Okay, in 1995, my mother, Kathy Parker, she caught two aggravated assaults with deadly weapon, and she eventually went downtown to the detectives and stated that I committed a crime. And they didn't believe her. They said the eyewitness said that the man was 6'1", 6'2", light-skinned with bushy hair, approximately 27 years old, 210 pounds. In 1987, I was 5'3", 135 pounds, dark-skinned, with brush waves. And they said that the eyewitness at the scene said that I was that gave them the description of the male that was 6'1", 6'2", light-skinned with bushy hair, approximately 27 years old. So they shooed her away. Then she told them that my cousin was Stephen Robinson, and the detectives hit on it and said, "Well, okay, he did some crime. He did. We feel that he committed some murders on the west side of Cleveland." Therefore, they said, "Well, who is Donnell Parker to him?" She said, "That's his cousin." So when they came and picked me up in February 2nd of 1996, they told me, the first thing we want to get clear with you that we do not want you. We want your cousin, Stephen Robinson. So when I went downtown Cleveland, I thought that I would be released. They took me in. They held me for 72 hours. Then they booked me in for aggravated murder, and aggravated robbery.
Wow.
Gunsmith. And they told me that if I want the charges to go away, to read the statement that was in front of me and
monitored.
and go to Mansfield Prison and charge my cousin with 2 homicides. I told him that I didn't know anything about the crimes, I didn't know anything about the situation. And then after that, he said, okay, well, you're going to do the rest of your life for crimes that your cousin has committed. We know that you didn't commit this crime because from 1987 up until now, you were never a suspect.
Huh.
So in the county, Sandon County gave me a $500,000 bond. I'm a poor person,
Right.
and I couldn't make a bond. I couldn't do anything. And I'm an amputee, a lower left leg amputee.
Right.
I lost my leg in gun violence. I was shot, and I lost my leg. So when they had me downtown, they kept on what they call bullpen therapy to try to break me and try to make me do something that was totally not right. And that was to write a statement against my cousin, which I don't know anything about any crimes or anything of that nature. And what they was doing, they was taking me down to the bullpen every day from 4:30 in the morning until 6:30, 7 o'clock.
Our president, Candace, wants to know, did they have it recorded when they told you that they knew you did not commit the crimes?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure if they had it recorded or not. I'm not sure.
I'm sure it went away if they did.
Yes. And also, with me going through that, then there is another Donnell Parker
Huh.
that murdered his kids and I think his wife.
Mm-hmm.
And I had to. Is there anybody on the line that can look up anything that can help?
I don't know offhand. You could always ask for help, and maybe somebody will. I don't have the time for research myself.
Okay.
But who knows? Just keep sending me JPEGs and stuff, and I'll share that information, with everybody.
Okay. Well,
This call is originating from an Ohio correctional facility and may be recorded and monitored.
well, then I was carrying on again. My grandmother, when I called home, my grandmother said, "There's a Donnell, did you hurt some kids and a female?" I said, "No, I don't. No, I haven't done anything like that. I haven't done anything." And she said, "Well, they're on the news saying that that kids had hurt, that got killed, and everything. Come to find out, there's a Donnell Parker going in front of the same judge that I have now, Peter J. Corrigan."
Yeah, I know the Corrigans very well.
Mm-hmm.
I got my own opinion, though.
Right. And then this guy, he's came back from North Coast Behavioral Center. He's 50. He was born in 1958, and I was born in 1970. And they had on the news, it looks like I'm the person who committed these crimes against these kids and this woman, because we share the same name.
Yeah.
So my trial was already prejudiced.
Well, let me say this. Now, most likely, if it was a close family relative, you would not give his name regardless. I take it.
Excuse me?
If a close family member would have committed the murder, it sounds to me you probably wouldn't have given his name.
I wouldn't have given him his name?
Yeah, I don't think you would have told on any of your immediate family, like a cousin or a brother or.
This call is originating from an Ohio correctional facility and may be recorded and monitored.
Yeah.
No, well, the situation is that I don't know anything about any crimes, so I was unprivileged of any knowledge of anything that happened
Right.
at that time.
Right. So what is your sentence exactly? What is your sentence?
43 to life.
Wow.
At 43 to life, and I want to go further that I'm in the courts at this moment because the judge, Peter J. Corrigan, came back in 1998 and he dismissed count 2 on an aggravated murder. And then the state was in agreement to dismiss count 2. This is on my journal entry.
So would that change your sentencing, the length of your sentence?
Well, this would do away with the whole case.
Okay.
Yeah, because once they start going into a capital case, you know, you only get one bite at the apple with a capital case.
Right,
What
right.
they did, he went in there, unbeknownst to me, he's supposed to brought me back, and because my case was remanded back to Cuyahoga County to clarify the counts. What he did, he went in and non-pro-tongued and dismissed count 2. Then he came back 74 days later and dismissed count 1 and amended the record.
Okay.
This was ordered and this was agreed upon with the state. And it said the state dismisses count 2 and the state dismissed count 1.
Right. So, what do you? Okay, when they arrested you, what was going through your mind at that moment?
Well, I really thought that maybe it was a possibility that I was getting picked up I had a warrant for CCW.
Right.
I had a gun charge for CCW. And I thought I was being picked up for CCW until they told me they were homicide. And then they said a case that happened in 1987.
You have 1 minute remaining.
And I was like, in 1987, I gave a little chuckle, you know, because I'm like,
Yeah. Make sure you call back. Okay.
I'm calling right back right now.
Okay, brother. Thanks.
Okay, bye.
Okay, and we even got a commercial. Okay, YouTube, Facebook, we got these nice shirts. Candace is making them. They're being sold for $15. I'm even the special one. See that? My baseball hat? Then look on the back what it says. I want everybody to see that king word. See? So there's not any mix up on the king part. So I just want everybody to know that these shirts are available for $15. They're real nice. And on the back, and I think it's $2 extra, Candace. If I'm incorrect, let me know. But if they want to put down like Justice for Johnny or whatever, that's $2 extra, I believe. So those shirts are real nice. They're, and why we have this on too, another commercial for the state of Ohio. Don't forget your mask. And of course, it should say Cleveland Indians on like mine. But we'll wait for this gentleman to call back. And for the next couple months, we're going to try to do at least 2 a week. People that are wrongfully convicted. We'd like to get a few women too, but we'd have to have Candace handle that.
Hello. This call is from a correction facility and is subject to monitoring and recording. Thank you for using GTL.
Okay, I'm here.
Okay, brother.
Okay. And also, when we started this trial procedure, I had Thomas Shaughnessy and William Petro. It takes 2 lawyers to do a capital murder case.
Right.
Okay. When we started doing the jury selection, this one I knew that it was going to go all bad for me. On my jurors, there was a detective. He was working, he said he had jury duty. Shaughnessy told me that he knows the detective and the detective was going to be more favorable because there's no evidence in the case and everything. So we put the detective a juror. And it went horribly bad after that.
Right.
Everything that I'm saying is in the code, in the dead files that's across the street from Tyler County. And I'm also having a lawyer by the name of J. David Ingersoll get the jury selection paper. I mean, get all my jurors.
This call is originating from an Ohio correctional facility and may be recorded and monitored.
If I was to get a fair trial by my peers, he would have never suggested that I put a detective on the jury.
I didn't think detectives were allowed to sit on juries.
Yeah, well, he was on my jury. He was on my jury, and he worked in the bureau. He worked in the detective bureau right a couple floors up under us.
Right.
This case right here now is very, very disturbing, and I can prove my innocence just by what they've done, by what Ralph Zapponi, who owned Spaghetti Warehouse in the Flats, he stood up on the stand and said, he is definitely not the man. He is too dark. He's too short. And right now he looks like he's 15 years old. This is not the man that I described at the scene of the murder.
Right. Right.
So, I mean, I have all this is in my transcripts. All of this is on record. And I was never a suspect. I never was talked to. I never was nothing. I got blindsided. My mom, she's crack. She was on crack cocaine. And she was trying to avoid being put in prison. And when she said my cousin's name, which is Steve Robinson, and when she said his name, they automatically want to solve some cases that they say he was involved in. There was also a old Brooklyn sheriff that his niece was one of the victims that had got murdered.
Yeah, I think you mean the police chief, because Old Brooklyn is part of Cuyahoga County.
Okay, well, when the chief or the police chief, he came.
This call is originating from an Ohio correctional facility and may be recorded and monitored.
I went to the detective bureau. He was sitting there with two detectives, Detective Hassan and Detective Beeman. And they were sitting there, and he said, his goddaughter was the female that got killed in that case that we're looking into concerning your cousin.
Wow.
I said, I don't know. I don't really understand. So what happened was I was drug into a situation through what they thought someone else had done. And by me not being in cooperation, I ended up with 43 to life. I don't know anything about the crime. I don't know anything about the crime that they said that I even committed. I'm blindsided. There's no evidence. There's no gun. There's no fingerprints. There's no DNA. There's not even a description. I was never even positively identified in the court.
This is disturbing because this is Cuyahoga County where I'm from, and under the leadership of Bill Mason and Timothy McGinty, there was so much corruption and people being found guilty of crimes that they did not commit. And they get both the prosecutors got ran out of town, I heard. So why aren't they reviewing their cases?
Yeah, and I've not stopped fighting. I've been in court, and I went back in 2011 for a new trial because the guy stepped forward by the name of Clifton Cousins. He stepped forward and admitted to the crime, and when we went back, I went back in front of Peter J. Corrigan, and I had Paul Mancino Jr., the lawyer, and I went back, and the prosecutor threatened Clifton Cousins and told him that affidavits. The man got on the stand and pled the fifth. And 1 year after that, my grandmother died of cancer and I had a stroke.
Wow.
So my grandmother thought I was coming home because I didn't do anything. And therefore, Clifton Cousins, which I have all his affidavits and everything, and it's on my docket sheet. You know, with my case, my docket sheet, and my case number is 337574. And you can look it up in Calhoun County court documents.
Yeah. What are you presently? Where's your case stand at this moment? What do you need help from our listeners for?
I need help with a lawyer. I need help. I just need someone to guide it through because I'm going through pro se, and I'm currently awaiting. I just filed a notice of appeal in the 8th district under 8th district court of appeals under case number CA-20-10980.
Huh. Yeah.
And I just went in under a writ of presidential trying to compel Peter Corrigan to answer my motions, my notice of appeal, with my judicial notice and my writ of presidential.
Right.
Because he refused to answer anything. He dismissed everything. Now I'm going into courts because he dismissed count 2, then came back 74 days later and dismissed count 1.
Huh.
I was acquitted of the first aggravated murder from Peggy Foley Jones. All of this is in my journal entries and on my documents.
Right.
So everything that I'm saying to you guys is you can go, it's public record.
What do you say? Yeah. What do you say to the person that says, "Well, everybody says they're innocent when they're locked up"? We had a lady that said that 90% say that the other day, and we know some.
Originating from an Ohio correctional facility and may be recorded and monitored.
And we know some people claim to be innocent. That's not. But what would be your rebuttal to her for saying that everybody claims they're innocent?
Well, I would like to say that until you're in this situation, until you have went against injustice on this level, you can't really understand the fight that I'm going through because this doesn't happen to everyone. But in the black community, this is common because you're talking about poor black men who are there usually to clean the books up. And when you're being used to clean the books up, it doesn't matter if you're guilty or not. You're going to clean those books up because this is for votes. I went in 1996 during election time. My chances of winning was 0.
Right. That same thing with my roommate. He went up during the election time and he had no chance. No.
What you say now? Excuse me.
Same thing with my roommate. His was during an election year, and when you go up there and people need votes, they're not going to be fair.
No. When you're going in front of those prosecutors and you're going in front of that district attorney, Stephanie Tubbs Jones at the time, I wasn't. I wasn't going to be the one that was going to prevail in this situation because I'm poor. I didn't pay for nothing in the courtroom. I didn't even have enough food to get commissary. So therefore, I was just a person that was just sitting there throwing my mercy on the courts, which they wanted me to do, to lock someone else up.
Right.
And lie and say that I knew about crimes that I didn't know about. So when you're faced against, when you don't have nothing or nobody in your favor, then here it is a guy that's in North Coast Behavioral Institution on the news with your same name, and then these jurors or listen to the news or whatever the case may be, and you just forced into a situation where there's no hope. And I'm in here. I'm a handicapped man. I'm poor. I'm black. Everything was stacked against me at that time. And I didn't have no support. I didn't have no mental support. I didn't have no financial support. And I was being abused. I was being taken advantage of. And still at this point in time, I'm still being taken advantage of. I'm still being abused. And I need somebody to just believe in me, look at what I have to offer. I'm not everything that I'm saying is in court records and documents. I need somebody to reach to me. Please help me and don't let me languish here any longer for something, a crime that I didn't do.
Well, this I can promise you. When we get our website back up, because it was taken down when I was in the hospital, but we're going to feature those that claim to be wrongfully convicted. And, we'll put your picture up there with a paragraph, like contact information so they could contact you and discuss it with you and so forth. So,
greatly appreciate,
any
type of help.
Yeah.
The
problem with us, all we can do really is educate people. And we're talking about 50,000 inmates that we really have to work for. We can't just say, well, we're only helping this one person out, because then we wouldn't be doing our job. Yes, I do believe you're innocent. That's besides the point. I do believe you're innocent, at least with what I'm hearing. And I'm hoping that somebody is listening to this today that can reach out. I want you to give your contact information in case somebody wants to write you or JPay you as well. Let's do that before time runs out.
Okay. It's Donnell Parker. 330-319 P.O. Box 8107. Mansfield, Ohio 44901. And go to jpay.com. Because that's the quickest way for us to write and be in contact. And everything that I'm saying, I have copies of all my records and everything. I can forward them to you, or you can download them from Cuyahoga County. But anything that you have any questions with, please get in contact. Please ask me.
Yeah, I think we're going to make a part 2 on you because you have a lot to.
You have 1 minute remaining.
You want to call back one more time, or you want to do part 2?
This call is originating from an Ohio correctional facility and may be recorded and monitored.
You want to call back now?
We're using GTL.
I guess so. I was kind of hoping he would say, part 2, because I don't want to lose listeners. And Candace is very familiar with this, and same with let's see who else Debbie does with her son, on how unfair the system is, and how they'll find somebody just guilty just by hearsay, not even by facts. And like we know, if it's during election year, you're really hit. You're not going to have much of a chance, to even prove yourself. And I want to get our board members, loved ones on eventually, because I think it's time that really we need to start going public on what's happening with these people that have been screwed by the system. And the media needs to be notified and start doing their job instead of saying, well, I'm going to take the state side. They don't want to go against the state, so they rather have somebody sit in prison that's innocent. And that's really sad. Let's see if he's going to call back. Yeah, here he is.
Hello. This call is from a correction facility and is subject to monitoring and recording. Thank you for using GTL.
Okay, brother. It's on you.
I'm here. Yep. And I would like to encourage anybody to just Yes, I'm an open book. I would love to share anything and everything about me and anything I can do. You know, I'm pretty sure once you look at the facts of this case and evidence that's in it, you will understand that I was just a victim of a billion-dollar corporation taking advantage of a person that has nothing. You know, a person that's a handicapped person that's come from poverty, and I didn't have anything, and they took advantage of me, and by the grace of God that I'm still alive in this situation, and that I haven't given up, and I refuse to give up.
When do you go to the pro board? Yeah, when do you go to the pro board for the first time?
They told me I go to the parole 2036.
I think they're wrong. Let me tell you why. You were sentenced under the old law, right?
Yes, and I was a juvenile.
Right, which right now that doesn't mean anything, but it should. But if you're under the old law, you
Ohio Correctional Facility and may be recorded and monitored.
You would see the pro board in 2/3.
Right.
You know, so that that doesn't sound like that. I would check on that though. I could be off, you know, but they'll check on that, see if they're correct on it.
Okay. Well, they're supposed to see me in 10 years. No one has seen me. I wrote the parole board concerning that they dismissed count 2. And the parole board, Bosco told me that they got in contact with the parole board and said that Cuyahoga County told them that it was an error. Well, you can't dismiss a case and say that it was an error. Once it's dismissed, you can't bring it back.
Right.
So I'm supposed to see the parole board 10 years after I was locked up, and it's been 24 years. I haven't seen anybody. I haven't. I wrote the parole board numerous times. I don't get any response back. Nothing. So I'm just here, and I don't have no support. I don't really have any family. I don't have too much of anything, and I'm in a situation still from day one to now. One thing I can do is fight for my life. I lost half of my family. I don't know my kids. I don't know my grandkids. The only thing I can do is fight. I can't give up. I'm not going to lay down. I'm not going to accept something that I didn't do.
Right.
I just can't accept it. And I feel like if I've got to die fighting for what I believe in, then that's where I'm headed. You know, one of my friends just walked out of here March 27th. His name is Isaiah Thomas. He did 45 years here.
I know Isaiah.
And he told me every day that he was going home. And he went home on March 27th. And his article is in the Cleveland Plain Dealer right now. And I just got this posted in my bed area, and I look at it every day. And I said, if he can do it, he's 82 years old, if he can make it out, and he didn't commit the crime after everybody thought that he committed this crime.
This
Right.
call is originating from an Ohio Correctional Facility and may be recorded and monitored.
And they didn't even run a newsworthy feed on the TV, on the television for Isaiah. I got this out of the Cleveland Plain Dealer. And this is inspiration, this is hope, and I refuse to give up because if a man 82 years old can fight and walk himself out of prison, by God, I can do it too.
Yeah, and we are in contact with a guy that was also 82, another guy that got out after 38 years. The Innocence Project got him out, and at that age, it's kind of sad, but it's also refreshing to see that finally justice was served. But then I would like to see those that put people wrongfully in there, if it's out of malicious, to be prosecuted themselves.
Right. I agree thoroughly.
Right.
And everybody that was a part of this case, on my case, they're still alive. And and that would be one of the greatest times. Even these lawyers that tricked me and lied to me and took advantage of me. You know, I mean, from all the way up from Shaughnessy to Paul Mancino, you know, they all took advantage of me. They knew.
Is that the Shaughnessy from Columbus too?
That was a Shaughnessy that his son's a judge downtown Cleveland, County right now. He's got common pleas judge.
Yeah, then it's the Shaughnessy from here. Yeah, he lives. He's got his office in Columbus too.
The father that represented me passed away right after I was convicted.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
because
Shaughnessy had the office on Buckeye.
right.
Remember?
Yeah,
Okay. Yep. And he had a whole wing in the old Mansfield full of people he put on locked up.
yeah.
Yeah, I just got caught. I just got caught in a situation that I couldn't.
Yeah, if I remember correctly, he got into some trouble,
Yep.
through ethics or something.
Yep. And I wrote him up to ethics too, and I had that too. I wrote to the bar association on him in Columbus.
Right.
You know, for putting a detective on my jury. I said, if that's not bias, I don't know what is.
Yeah, I can't understand how they could put a detective on anybody's jury.
Yeah, they told me that he had jury duty and that he was, you know, that he knew him and been knowing him for the last 20 years and blah, blah, blah. Gave me a song and dance. I'm scared out of my wits. I'm thinking, I'm hoping to God somebody's going to do something for me because I'm surrounded by all the people who want me to do something that I don't know nothing about. I can't testify against my cousin because I don't know nothing about your crimes. You know, I mean, you're trying to force me into a situation, telling me just to go ahead and just read off from the statement that they gave me and do that in front of the grand jury.
Right.
So, you know,
Well,
we're in that situation.
Yeah, we're gonna periodically bring you back to get your message out. You know, periodically because we need to get yours out there. I know you don't have much support on the, right now, but our hopes and prayers are that people start taking heed and start assisting our people out.
Yes.
This call is originating from an Ohio correctional facility and may be recorded and monitored.
I'll do whatever it needs for someone to help. Just meet me halfway. You know,
The only thing that we as an organization ask is that the people are honest to us. You know, I don't care if a person's guilty or not. I'm still going to back them, on rehabilitation. If they're guilty, then I definitely want to, try to, find people to assist them.
Right.
You know,
I'm
so
not guilty.
I believe you. I believe you.
I don't have anything to do with this crime. I was never a suspect. I was never implicated in this crime until 1996. From 1987 until 1996. And the only reason I was implicated in this crime is because when my mother said me and my cousin's names, they had my cousin in Mansfield Correctional Institution.
Right.
And they were trying to build a case and build charges on him. A judge had gave him 187 to 300 years, and then he was brought back because the judge couldn't give out a sentence like that, and they didn't want him to go home. He went home in 2003.
Well, I'm going to be interviewing a guy that's got like 400 years. I thought it was you, but I was wrong. But there's another guy from Ohio that I'm going to be interviewing that's got like 410 years. It's really sad that we have a system that is set up so much for failure. And if you're not, wealthy, it's not even about race anymore. It's about who's got money, who does it.
Right.
You know,
Right, when you,
and we fight for all people. I don't care what race, what gender you are. We're gonna fight for you as long as you're honest with us and you show us respect. We'll have your back.
right. And I mean, I greatly appreciate that. You know, justice, they say, is blind. You know? And, I mean, it's just horrible. I don't know for who. Justice for who? It's not
Right.
for the American people anymore because you got to fit a certain tax bracket to get justice.
Right.
You know, I mean, if I was rich, they would have never said anything to me. They would
Right.
have never even picked me up or arrested me or charged me because there was never no evidence from inception.
Right.
So,
But the sad thing is, I was already like that for 10 years, when you got sentenced. But I've seen so many people that I knew in my heart was innocent, but nobody else would believe them. And if you look at a person, and if his story never changes, and he looks at you in the eye, he's telling the truth.
yes. Yes.
So-
I mean, I was taught the old values from my father.
Right.
Man in the eyes, and you know what I'm saying? Deals were done on handshakes.
This call is originating from an Ohio correctional facility and may be recorded and monitored.
That's why I said my whole life is an open book. I don't have anything to hide. I'm just open. I'm a blank page. You can ask me anything. We can talk. I'll lead you to all the evidence. I don't. The only thing I can do is give you everything that I have in my heart, my soul.
Right.
I'm not trying to say. Oh, I don't want to talk about. I want to talk about any and everything. I don't have nothing to hide.
Right.
I'm innocent. I'm totally innocent. I was never. Even when the person stood up and said, Ralph Saponi said, that is not him. I've seen the crime happen. This man owned the spaghetti house and the flats in Cleveland. He was
Yeah.
a killer of the community.
Right.
So if this man stood there and said, this is not him. I don't know what you guys are doing, but that's not him. So
Well,
I just don't know what else I could possibly do or say because even when they came to the scene of the crime, he was the first one out there talking to these detectives, telling them, giving them a description of the person and everything.
Well, we will bring you back. I think the YouTube worked, but I want to do another segment on YouTube.
Okay. Tomorrow?
Try a call tomorrow, and let's try around sometime tomorrow afternoon.
When?
1 or 2 o'clock tomorrow afternoon. Let's try.
Okay.
Okay?
Perfect.
And we're going to cut this short because I'm going to run out of space on the YouTube. And, you had quite a few listeners today. Let's see. If anybody asks any questions, I'll make sure you get the comments.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay. Yeah. I appreciate it.
No problem. And,
1 minute remaining.
okay, one more time your contact information.
Donnell Parker, 330-319, P.O. Box 8107, Mansfield, Ohio, 44901. Or you can contact me at jpay.com. That's 330-319. Internet, and then else.
Okay.
You get on the JPay.
Okay, brother, stay safe. Give me a call tomorrow. We'll do another YouTube or we'll do a podcast tomorrow.
Okay, well, I'll call you about 12:30.
Sounds great, brother.
Thank
Okay.
you.
Bye-bye.
God bless.
Thanks.
Thank you for using GTL.
It's kind of sad that you see this happening amongst so many people, and really hearing about it more and more about people that just didn't have a fair chance. And no, it's not about race. I'm gonna, maybe at one time it was, but right now it's about what class of people. Do you have money? Do you not have money? And also depending on case, even if you're not guilty, for certain cases they're going to try to find you guilty, as we find out for some people that we know is not guilty, but we have to still prove it and try to convince people that there are innocent people behind bars. Okay, everybody, you have yourself a great night, and we will be on in a couple of days again. Thank you, everybody.